Hey, what's up? Welcome to Culture Code.
Decoding conspiracy and current events, and coding creative content and culture.
What's good, y'all?
What's up, yo? How you feeling?
All right, we got an episode for you. Oh, guess what it is today? It's 322.
That's right, 3/22/2023. And I'm not going to lie, we definitely did not plan to launch today at all. I got a Weather Channel article update, and that was kind of weird. And so that's kind of what started everything, and it was talking about the spread of a deadly fungus, and I was like, what the? And I was like, yo, I looked at the day, and I was like, oh my, it's 3/22/2023, and the weird part is, just between the two of us, I had predicted
that something will go down today.
I was like, yo, something is definitely gonna happen. Like, I don't know what it is, but just from learning numerology and gematria and knowing about that stuff, I'm like, yo, we got to be prepared. And I totally forgot about the date. Got super. I'm having car issues right now, so I got super involved in just daily tasks and didn't even remember the day. And then all of a sudden, I probably wouldn't for the end of the day unless I got that alert.
And ironically, I mean, we were gonna do our first episode on predictive programming.
And it was weird because we started. We were gonna have the perfect one, and you know what? Sometimes the perfect time pops up sometimes because we're definitely gonna have longer, more researched episodes. But this one, we were just like, yo. So today is 3/22/2023. If you front and backwards, it has the same number. So if you go 3/20/22 and then backwards, 2023 is actually 3/22.
And what does that mean? 322.
So that is a very
Skull and Bones.
Yes. So basically, it is the number of the Order of the Skull and Bones Society that started in Yale.
The Brotherhood of Death.
Yes, called the Brotherhood of Death, Order 322, and also called the Order. One important thing to think about is, it is kind of one of those secret societies. A lot of times they do have very many occult themes. This one absolutely does. If you've ever seen the movie The Skulls from 2000, it's very cheesy and whatnot, but it has a lot of the rituals in it, and definitely Ilcon, which is
Illuminati confirmed.
Illuminati confirmed, absolutely. And so, so basically, but in the occult meaning of death, it doesn't necessarily mean a physical one. It usually means a rebirth. As far as I've read and seen, the Skull and Bone Society will put you, I believe that's the one that puts you in a coffin.
Allegedly.
As
one of their rituals.
Exactly, for initiation. And that represents a rebirth because the intellect and the knowledge you get as an initiate, and when you come, when you fully do the program or stay along with society, then you basically move up and you learn so much about the world and the esoteric knowledge that is hidden to all of us. So this date, they decided to actually, I'm not sure if they've ever put any articles out about this, but for some reason today it was a big headline, and usually when you see big headlines, it's meant to scare you or distract from something else. We obviously got a lot of other stuff going on with the Trump indictment. That was pushed back 2 days, of course, and nothing ever really materialized with that so far.
You had that Fauci documentary.
The Fauci documentary came out today.
I think it was yesterday, actually.
Yesterday, my bad. But yeah, you never really. Sometimes with the headlines, you never really know what they're trying to show you to make you scared, or if they're just trying to distract you from something else. Which usually it's both, honestly. But okay, so let's get really into it. So the Candida, it's called Candida auris, and basically the levels of this have been spiking since COVID. And they've been looking at rising stats for years. But yeah, today was the day they decided to break a lot of this info as a major headline. At least as far to my knowledge, I've not seen it before. So this was actually first identified in Japan in 2009. But after they identified it, they found samples of it in South Korea as early as 1996. And, obviously it could have been before then, but this is what this specific strain of Candida has evolved into, I suppose. The scary part is that standard Lysol and disinfectant wipes and bleach of that nature, that supposedly the article says,
that's creepy.
It cannot kill it.
It's like a super Candida.
Right. And what makes it more worrying is that it is identified through like a blood or bodily fluid sample, and they take that and they identify it through culture, like culturing. And you know how culturing works, like it takes a while for everything to grow, like you're growing like a seed or something, and at first it just looks like yeast. Then later on it appears as a candida. So then you got its genus, but its species doesn't come out until a few days later, which is Aurealis, and you may already be on the wrong drugs at that point. So that's pretty crazy. The one other thing that I was gonna say is a lot of strains of this one are drug resistant, which means like the typical antifungal can't kill it. So it's hard to identify. It's hard to kill with all the other like sanitization and commercial like things like that are on the market for consumers.
And like people like the elderly and like immunocompromised are typically the ones who like, it affects more, right?
Yeah. But I was gonna say it also can be confused with other Candida strains, which is scary. And then yes, so what you were saying is that a lot of the problems they have been having have been with older folks' homes, and most people that don't have compromised immune systems, they said don't have to worry about it that much. But if you are older and you do have a compromised immune system, or you are in sort of a group housing situation like a nursing home,
then you're susceptible.
Yeah. And yeah, so
I don't know. It kind of reminds me of that movie, that TV show you've been watching. What's it called?
Yeah, I wish you would watch it with me. It doesn't really focus on that so much. It's more of the emotional connection, but it's called The Last of Us, and everyone's seen it. Pretty much, not everyone,
Ooh,
but it's,
there we go.
A lot of people have seen it.
Pull it up on the screen.
Okay, nice. All right, we got the screen grabs. So The Last of Us, I actually already started working on notes for predictive programming. We were doing a whole series on predictive programming. Spoiler alert, The Last of Us is one of them. It's the second movie or TV show that I started creating notes for, and I'm planning a bigger show on it. Now, you haven't seen it yet, so I didn't know if I was going to do it by myself, or I was going to get a buddy that's a big fan of The Last of Us to come in, or if you were just going to watch it. But either way, I'm planning bigger show notes on that, so we're going to have to touch on, we'll definitely come back around to The Last of Us. They're making a second season, so we'll see that. But the video, it's actually based on a video game. A lot of people are big fans of it. It's my buddy's favorite video game, like, of all time. The same one I was going to get to maybe call on the show. But the video game actually came out in 2013, which means they were probably making it in like 2011, 2012. For so, sure. This is before this. But, it's an interesting thought. Like, wonder if it's not a virus or a bacteria. Wonder if it's a fungus. Like, that's crazy. That's a whole nother thing, And
The mushrooms grown out of people. That's crazy.
I know. They did really, really good. They actually did a, what is it, chicken of the woods mushroom pattern on someone's head of the infected. They're not zombies. I'm not going to call them zombies. Everyone's going to get mad if I call them zombies. They're the infected, with the affected, fungus. So, yeah.
That's some wild makeup.
Crazy. So it's cordyceps. It's a cordyceps. And it's also the official name, the Latin name, is the Ophiocordyceps unilateralis. And, cordyceps in nature, that specific one, grows in ants. And it basically hijacks them, their minds, and they basically go up to a certain, I think it's like a certain
soil level.
Yes, to the optimal temperature and heat, so that they can drop spores out of the crap that's growing out of their heads, which is exactly like The Last of Us, and infect the entire colony. So they'll go where there's food and sources of food and water and stuff like that, where all the colony goes. And so I'm sure most of you guys have seen that or know what that is. But it just reminded me of that, and wow, predictive programming right in the face.
Man.
So I just wanted to mention that.
And there's a clip here from the show, and I don't know. We'll just have to watch it for ourselves.
Yeah, you can play the clip actually, like the intro clip.
Don't heist, you're in distress.
Fungal infection of this kind is real, but not in humans.
True, fungi cannot survive if its host's internal temperature is over 94 degrees. And currently there are no reasons for fungi to evolve to be able to withstand higher temperatures. But what if that were to change? What if, for instance, the world were to get slightly warmer? Well, now, there is reason to evolve. One gene mutates, and an Ascomycetia, Candida, ergot, Cordyceps, Aspergillus, any one of them could become capable of burrowing into our brains and taking control, not of millions of us, but billions of us. Billions of puppets with poisoned minds, permanently fixed on one unifying goal: to spread the infection to every last human alive by any means necessary. And there are no treatments for this, no preventatives, no cures. They don't exist. It's not even possible to make them.
So if that happens,
we lose.
And The Last of Us just aired, and mad people watched it. So that was interesting. Looking a little bit further, there is an Ebola-like virus called the Marburg virus. Outbreak in Tanzania right now. I believe they said it was the northern western corner. I don't remember, but
I thought they got that Ebola on lock. Apparently not.
Well, it's not Ebola, it's Marburg virus, but it's Ebola-like. But it's contracted from fruit bats. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if you have to, what you got to do with a fruit bat to, maybe a kiss on the whips. A little kiss on the whips with a fruit bat. I'd kiss a fruit bat right on the whips, but maybe not in Tanzania. That sounds dangerous. But yeah. But then after the humans get it, so you can get it from another human with their bodily fluids, okay? Or, contaminated objects that they've touched. So that's a nice thing that I just wanted to mention. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that one. It was basically discovered in 1967, and it comes from the same virus family as Ebola, which is very exciting to me in a horrible way. Since I read that book Hot Zone, and my uncle let me borrow it when I was 11, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to bleed out of my anus and my eyeballs all at the same time. I was terrified, from watching The Thing and They Live and reading all these crazy books is probably what made me post woke, because that's what I'm going to call woke, because woke got taken over by the government and certain factions now, so it's post woke. But yeah, so it's severe hemorrhagic fever, so that's great. The other major news that's going on, that maybe you want to talk a little bit about, is the
oh yeah, there's the Denver school shooting, and with the 322 Skull and Bones kind of vibe,
Brotherhood of Death,
the Brotherhood of Death.
Brotherhood of Death.
We knew some kind of like ritualistic murder would be happening today.
Yeah, and to be fair,
I mean, allegedly.
Shootings happen every day in the U.S. School shootings happen way more now than they used to.
I bet you the gematria adds up.
Probably. We'll definitely have to check that as best we can. But to give you a little bit of just basic facts, I'm sure you've already seen now, but the name of the school is East High School. It's in Denver, Colorado. A high school shooting.
Denver airport.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to get into that. You have the Denver airport right there, which if you don't know anything about the Denver airport, I don't think we have pictures of it, sadly, right now. But the Denver airport is basically an occultist, like, wet dream. It has murals. It has statues. It has weird crap all over the airport. And why is it there? I don't know. If you guys want us to do an episode specifically on the Denver airport, I would love to, because
I would love that.
I want to go to the Denver airport. In fact, if you want us to go to the Denver airport,
let us know in the comments.
Let us know in the comments, and we'll put a link to our Buy Me a Coffee page. So maybe you can buy me enough coffees that I can grow wings and fly to the Denver airport for you and research it more for live footage. But yeah, so basically that was going on. 2 people were shot by a 17-year-old who was at large the last time I checked, which was like a couple hours ago. He just looks like an average, like, kind of sweet kid, honestly. Last month, though, one thing that happened was a 16-year-old was shot inside of a parked car near the school. It's definitely very horrible that this happens and people are worried about it, and especially kids. This week, at the start of this week, a high school student was shot and killed in a high school parking lot in Dallas. And in Arlington, Texas, a student was killed and injured in a shooting outside of high school just this week. Now,
how do these things connect? I'm not sure, but
I don't know. But there's constant. One thing to remember is there's constant, like, school shooting violence, but these are the big ones where someone was injured seriously or hurt, and a lot of people were hit or whatnot. One weird thing, 2 years ago to the day, I believe, in Boulder, Colorado, there was a grocery store shooting, and 10 people died. 2 years to the date. And it was, I believe, on the 22nd of 2023.
Of March.
Of March, yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much all we wanted to touch on, but it's just wild.
Yeah, we had to launch this. We just had to hop on real quick before our actual channel launch, because of the date and just current events and whatnot. So if you like this and you want to hear more of this, you should like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We promise to have some really good content coming. Yeah.
And always feel free to suggest certain topics you want to hear about, and we can definitely look into it. We've
decode them.
Certain things that we can't talk about on certain channels, they're a little too sus. So you'll have to subscribe to probably our Buy Me a Coffee. Or one of our other alternate kind of viewing areas. But yes, so it was Tuesday, March 23rd, 2021, 2 years ago. So, yep, pretty crazy. It was a day after, but almost 2 years to the date. But yeah, so that's pretty much all we got. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Peace out.
Respect the drip, Karen.